Shepard. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today I would like to show you some creative ways to keep tangling. First thing I like to do is, these old books are so wonderful for their the type of and quality of paper. So I usually will rip one out of an old book, and then I'm really drawn to birds lately. You can get onto Pinterest, or you can look to find some funky little birds. So I'm going to draw, using my graphic micron, I'm just going to draw a funny little bird on here. And it can be any kind of odd shape. You can add any kind of wing you want to. This one, I think he's going to look a little bit like a chicken. Put a little cute little design on top of his head and some funky legs. And at this point, now I've done some where I use only the Inktense pencils. This is a wonderful color addition, but before I do that today, I'm going to add a little bit of gesso, because not only do I like the texture of the book pages, but I like to add some rough texture with the gesso, and this changes the absorption quality. And I'm just going to do it in some highlighted areas. So I'm just going to get a paintbrush and a little dab-a-doo-ya. Just dab on a little bit of gesso in some highlight areas. I'm going to put a little bit in the wings. Now sometimes I also like to work with the gesso in layers. So while this first layer is, I'm using this brush, a lot of times I will switch to a smaller brush and go back and add additional areas of thicker gesso. Again, when you've got that in there, the color of the medium that you add to it is going to be just a little bit different in different areas, and that's what I'm going for, is like some texture looking. So I'm going to add some to the eyes, and just let that dry. Use a hair dryer or something, but I've already done one that has gesso on it that's drying. So I'm going to show you how I do the Inktense pencils. This is a wonderful set. It's got some beautiful colors in it. This is one of my favorites. It's teal green. So it doesn't take very much with the Inktense. On this rough texture, just get a little bit on the edges. Then I'm going to switch to another color. I like to add combinations of colors. Maybe overlap it just a little bit, but I'm not going all the way to the edge of the gesso. I kind of want that to show. Another useful tool that I love, this is such an easy craft to do because it's very relatively few tools. This is an aqua brush, and the way that you work it is you just kind of squeeze it and it becomes like a watercolor brush. So it's very portable, and you can get a lot of water, and that's what I'm going to need for this. I'm going to squeeze it, and I'm going to start kind of on the edges. Kind of go to the edge of this. Okay, and I'm going to dab it off because I don't want too much color. I'm going to carry that color and fade it. Fade it to this area. Now you need to let that dry before you add any additional color, but many times I will go back in and add a blue or add another color to it. I want to show you how I'm going to do the wings. I think with the wings I'm going to add a little bit of red. And don't be afraid to turn your page. I'm going to turn this just a little bit because I want just the right amount of curve to get this. Okay. See, I'm not working it much. That's the look that I like. So when some of these have dried, I will go back in and add some additional colors. Like on this one, if I use pinks and reds and greens and blues, I'm going to add some more of that color in different areas. And this is what it looks like when I'm done. You can see that I've added some yellow and orange, and so when I've done this little creature, I like part of the book page to show, but I also like to draw some tangles on it. Sometimes just a few, sometimes a lot. It just depends on my mood, but I want to show you where I get my tangles. I did co-author The Beauty of Zentangle, where Suzanne McNeil and I worked with artists from all over the world, and we got some wonderful projects from them using paper, using color, quilting, just a variety of media. This is a beautiful book. I'm very proud of it. And today I'm going to use one of the tangles that when we asked the artists to join us, we also asked them to come up with some of their own tangles. And you can see that we've got 37 new tangles in here. And I thought today that this one by Michelle Rogers would be great. This is a bird, so I'm going to do the peacock tangle. And when I'm doing the tangles, I like to use either the 5, the 8, or the 3 so that it shows up to get a little bit blacker, bolder color on this. So I think for his little tummy here, I'm going to start the tangle by drawing some lines. And then to make the peacock feather, just situate them just a distance apart, and then kind of get that feather shape. I'm going to start with this one, and I'm just going to keep building on that. And I'll start this one here. So you can see that that's going to be a cute little feather-like tangle for his little tummy. And over here I've done, I believe this one's called Shattuck. This is one of my favorite filler tangles. And I'm also going to just add some little dots. So it doesn't have to be any fancy tangle at all. Just the most simple thing is going to add a real distinction to this little gesso bird page. Okay, so that's my little guy, and I've done a few others as well. This is a little bluebird. So again, I've looked at different shapes of birds, and I'm adding things mostly to their wings and just different areas where I can find an appropriate tangle. And here's a little orange bird. Again, my Shattuck. I love using this one. This is a great filler. When I first started doing these, I actually, without the gesso, I just got a book and kind of altered the top of it, and then I just began using my microns with Inktense pencils. And I really like to draw kind of little creatures, or a lot of times my string will just be very free form. And then I'll begin adding eyes, I'll begin adding other areas to it. So you don't have to just do a Zentangle on a tile. Your string can be as wild as you want it. So go out there and experiment.